Breslau, March 17th, 1813. Like machine guns, presses are spitting out papers as fast as they can be laid out, inked, and dried. The King of Prussia has just issued a decree calling for a new war against Napoleon, a war of liberation. To my people, Brandenburgers, Prussians, Silesians, Pomeranians, Lithuanians, you know what you have borne the past 7 years. You know the sad fate that awaits you if we do not bring this war to an honorable end. Think of the times gone by, of the great Elector, the great Frederick. Remember the blessings for which your forefathers fought under their leadership and which they paid for with their blood. Freedom of conscience, national honor, independence, commerce, industry, learning. Look at the great example of our powerful allies, the Russians. Look at the Spaniards, the Portuguese. For such objects as these, even weaker peoples have gone forth against mightier enemies and returned in triumph. Witness the heroic Swiss and the people of the Netherlands. Great sacrifices will be demanded from every class of the people, for our undertaking is a great one, and the number and resources of our enemies far from insignificant. But would you not rather make these sacrifices for the fatherland, and for your own rightful king, than for a foreign ruler who, as he has shown by many examples, will use you and your sons and your uttermost farthing for ends which are nothing to you? Faith in God, perseverance, and the powerful aid of our allies will bring us victory as the reward of our honest efforts. Whatever sacrifices may be required of us as individuals, they will be outweighed by the sacred rights for which we make them, and for which we must fight to a victorious end unless we are willing to cease to be Prussians or Germans. This is the decisive struggle. Upon it depends our independence, our prosperity, our existence. There are no other alternatives but an honorable peace or a heroic end. You would willingly face even the latter for honor's sake, for without honor no Prussian or German could live. However we may confidently await the outcome, God and our firm purpose will bring victory to our cause, and with it an assured and glorious peace, and the return of happier times. While it may not be what King Frederick William III intended, his call for the German people, not the Prussian people of whom he is king, has sown the seeds for German unification. Hello and welcome back to History in Focus, your one-stop shop for the stuff they didn't teach you in school. This week, and for the next several episodes, we will be focusing on German unification. Just remember to give freedom a ring and hit that subscribe button. But, to start, we must first understand what Germany was before it unified in 1871 as the German Empire. To start, we must go all the way back to Charlemagne. The King of the Franks was crowned as the Emperor of Romans in 800 AD. This is often considered to be the start of the Holy Roman Empire. The Empire of Charlemagne stretched from the Pyrenees all the way to the modern Czech Republic, unifying not only the French, but most of the Italians, Germans, and many other ethnicities. When he died, his realm was divided amongst his sons, and in the subsequent years divided more. Those pieces fought amongst each other until, by the start of the French Revolution in 1793, the Holy Roman Empire was weakening, but still a dominant force in Europe. The Holy Roman Empire itself was a mess. The common quote from Voltaire was that the Holy Roman Empire was neither holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. And while it's a bit overused, its point is mostly true. Explaining the intricacies of the Holy Roman Empire is too much for this video, but I'll give you a Cliff Notes version. The Holy Roman Empire was, say, unlike Napoleon's French Empire, not a unified state. Rather, it was a very loose confederation of several kingdoms, duchies, counties, and barons. All of them swore fealty to the emperor, who was elected amongst the many nobles. The electors were usually the most powerful dukes of the empire. They were a small group, but, truthfully, by the 18th century, it was almost always a Habsburg who was elected emperor. Uniquely, the Holy Roman Empire by 1793 consisted of two great powers. Those two would be rivals, allies, and then rivals again: Austria and Prussia. Austria was ruled by the Habsburgs, and their domains included the kingdoms of Bohemia, Hungary, the Duchy of Austria, and many other parts. They were wealthy and powerful in their own right, not to mention also being the Holy Roman Emperors. Prussia was, by 1793, still a relative newcomer to the world stage as a great power. They were led by the Hohenzollern family. Prussia had become a unified kingdom in 1701, but was backed by what was considered at the time one of the most powerful armies in Europe. Now, the reason why we chose 1793 as the true starting point to our story is because of the French Revolution. It's the watershed moment that puts Germany on the path to being unified. Prussia and Austria fought together during the Wars of the French Revolution and were both enemies of Napoleon. Following the Battle of Austerlitz, Napoleon forced the Holy Roman Emperor Francis II to sign a treaty ceding much of the non-Austrian-owned lands to Napoleon's newly formed Confederation of the Rhine. This caused the dissolution of the empire and the rise of the Austrian Empire, ruled by Francis. The creation of the Confederation of the Rhine also signaled the shift away from the southern German Austrians as the powerful German nation to the rising northern part of Germany. Prussia was then soundly defeated by Napoleon in 1807, forcing Prussia to sign the humiliating Treaty of Tilsit, which saw the Prussians lose nearly half of its territory and become essentially a client state of Imperial France. While shocking, this humiliation reawakened the Prussian government, army, and people. While the civilians worked to reform the country, the military completely overworked its own system. Led by young officers such as Scharnhorst, Gneisenauer, and Clausewitz, the Prussian army was rebuilt from the ground up, modernizing its war machine to Napoleonic standards, including greater staff work, speed of maneuver, and seeking the decisive battle. It was not until 1813, following Napoleon's harrowing retreat from Moscow, that the Germans came back with a vengeance as Austria and a newly reformed Prussia joined the rest of Europe in the War of the Sixth Coalition. Despite some initial setbacks, the new Prussian army performed well, leading to victories throughout the conflict and ending with the victorious Allied armies marching through Paris. At the Congress of Vienna, one of the leading questions was what to do with the German states. Ultimately, the Holy Roman Empire was not reformed, as the states of the Confederation of the Rhine were left to their independence. Prussia received new territories from Polish lands, as well as 3/5 of Saxony. Austria, meanwhile, regained territory it had lost, and was given nominal domination of the new German Confederation, which was made up of the Central European states and included Prussia. This was an even looser unifying body than the Holy Roman Empire and was really only a military alliance between the various nations. However, it also did have the effect of hampering German unification for the time being. What it did set the stage for was the German question, as to who would dominate Germany in the coming years. If you enjoyed this week's content, please subscribe for future videos. Let us know what you thought in the comments below and what you would like us to cover next.